beat. Turtles. Beat. Turtles. Beat. Turtles. Turtle. Beat. Turtles. Turtle. I like turtles. I like turtles. I like turtles. I like turtles. Turtle. I like turtles. I like turtles. I like turtles.
All right. Sorry about the delay, Turtle Riders. Yeah, you're good to share. Yeah, we're good. Just having some issues with the podcast here. That's why I had to, it was a little late. I had to restart the computer, the old FUPA computer here. Hopefully it keeps taping there. But, all right, so, what's up, guys? We have a couple things to talk about here tonight. Welcome to the Tuesday, Thursday, Uncle Turtle Boy Late Night Garage Podcast. We are going to do this every kind of Tuesday and Thursday. It's just going to be me and you people. I'm basically just recording the podcast, and you guys can kind of play along and answer, ask questions, as much as you want, interact with each other. I don't really care what you do. Play, have a good time, whatever. And today what I want to talk about more than anything is what's been going on in national news. It's like Kavanaugh 2.0 all over again. Except this time it involves high school kids. Actually, Kavanaugh involved high school kids too, once you think about it. Yeah, I know I needed a new computer, but, what are you going to do? All right, so what I really need to do probably is just, clean out this computer a little bit more. We'll also get to the Patriots today too as well. But, yeah, I want to talk about Covington because it's the story that has kind of gripped the nation. And let me tell you, it really, really disgusts me. I'm not sure how much you guys have been following this story. But it all began when I think it was on, Saturday night? I want to say. Yeah, I think it was Saturday night. Yeah, it all began on Saturday night when this picture of this kid, or not picture, a video of a kid in Washington, D.C., who was there for the March for Life, which is an anti-abortion march. This unbelievable. We got so much shit going on. All right, so sorry about the podcast if it's a little choppy, but we got a FUPA computer situation going on. Yeah, basically, this kid goes down in Washington, D.C. with his classmates, right? And all of a sudden, I swear to fucking God, if this fucking thing gets overloaded one more time, it's like every time I fucking click on something, it overloads. Bring it up here. Let me just bring it over here and minimize this a little bit. Did it overload that? No, okay, all right, so... involved these kids in Washington. They're there for the March for Life. And all of a sudden, when you watch the video, it doesn't look good at first, right? Let's watch. This fucking computer is going to overload now. Basically, you see this guy, a video of a Native American fella who goes up and he's playing the drums in this kid's face, right? And as you can see here, this guy that tweets it out, Keith Boykin, he's some sort of activist or something. He says, the MAGA hat wearing Covington Catholic High School students mocking Elder Nathan Phillips. I love how they call him Elder. That fucking matters. At the Indigenous Peoples March in Washington. Here you go. And he compares it to the Little Rock Central High School. Now, as you guys know, I taught United States history, and the Little Rock Nine was one of my favorite parts of teaching American history because it's very wild what these kids went through to go to that high school. Every day they had to be escorted in by the National Guard. It was pretty crazy shit. They actually went to all their classes with them. Those kids just went through fucking hell just to go to the integrated and superior high school for white kids, which the state of Arkansas was violating federal law by not integrating in the first place, but we'll get to that later on when we do our history shit. But, so to compare this to that is just utterly absurd, because he says the People's March, this guy was at the Indigenous People's March in Washington, right, and they are direct descendants of the white privilege that empowered white mock Elizabeth Eckford at Little Rock Central High School. These kids, so it looks bad at first, right? It looks like they're mocking And I don't know how many of you guys kind of following along right now in the live stream thought when they first saw this video that they were mocking them. Certainly, when I first saw it, I thought, like, you know, that kind of is what it looked like to me, right? I mean, the kid's smirk especially is what stood out to people because he looks arrogant. He looks smug. Smug is a good way to describe his look. And, of course, the only thing that matters is the hat that's on his head. He's wearing a MAGA hat, all right? And the MAGA hat to the left, to some on the left, many on the left, has become like a symbol of hate, right? Because you have the audacity to support the President of the United States, who over 60 million people voted for in good faith. So, yeah, if you can't even wear a hat supporting the president, or you are a Nazi now. So that's all anyone needed to see. That's literally it. And they all freaked out, and, you know, when I first saw the video, I'm like, what's the big deal? Even though that's the most damning video that's out there, it's like, what's the big deal? I was expecting to, because all the outrage, I'm like, I go to it, I'm like, so he hits him, right? Or the kids do something to him, and the kids do the powwow thing. They must do something really racist, right? And then I watch it. It's just a fucking kid staring at a guy who, for whatever reason, is playing the drums in his face. There's no context, nothing at all. Nothing at all, right? And so, yeah, so I see people asking about the Victor Pena thing. Guys, we're going to do a blog on that a little later, but I kind of want to stick to the topic for now. So, anyway, yeah, basically, as you saw in that video, you know, he looks smug. It's not the greatest look, but obviously people freak out. And this is what I hate about the social justice mob. They want to crush everyone they don't agree with. Not just crush, they want to destroy the lives of people. So they find out the phone number and the contact information for the diocese. It's a Catholic school, right? They are there for the March for Life. Being pro-life is a big part of, you know, the Catholic faith. So they're down there at this march, etc. And they're like, contact the school. And everyone's like, you know, saying that the school is pro-life, pro-rape culture kind of school. And they start going after their corporate sponsors, right? The school's corporate sponsors. And just read some of these reactions from unhinged leftists. I'm having a difficult time controlling my rage over this video. A video of a kid with no context, mind you, enrages you because the kid is smiling. Why? Why? If that enrages you so much, I got news flash for you, lady. The kid's not the problem. You're the problem. You need to see a doctor. You have a serious psychological disorder if watching that video truly makes you enraged. And all these people who liked it and loved it, same shit too. Okay? And by the way, it's all white women. That's all it is. I hate to say it. Right? White women getting offended on behalf of people, right? In order to, like, score brownie points with them. Oh my God, I'm clutching my pearls so hard. That was so hard to watch. That kid smiling there. Oh my God. How did that elder ever do it? I love how they call him an elder too. He's like fucking 64. It's a spring. That's like middle age nowadays with our science, right? Elder. And this idea that we have to respect elders. Fuck you. Because you're old, this kid has to respect you. Bitch, you're banging a drum in his face. Get the fuck out of my face. I didn't ask for you to fucking bang a drum in my face. Get the fuck out of here. That's what I would have said to him, 16-year-old freaking Uncle Turtle Boy. I would have told that guy to fuck off. You know, that guy, that kid in the video, I got to pat him on the back. He had a lot of restraint, and he did absolutely nothing wrong. Meanwhile, these people are talking about, like, I wouldn't hesitate to grab a chair and hit him on his screwy head. Names. We need their names, people are saying. That kid has the most punchable face I've ever seen. It was unbelievable, the level of outrage, you know, that was geared towards them. Right? Unbelievable. Oh, looks like Stormy Daniels. By the way, since this has been debunked, so it's been debunked, and I see Stormy Daniels and other people whose tweets have been embedded into the blog are no longer up. Because this is like mass erase time. You could tell the smarter ones, and that's crazy to say Stormy Daniels is one of the smarter ones, the smarter ones wised up and they realized, shit, we made a mistake, I better delete and retreat. The douchebags who cannot be reasoned with have all doubled down. Right? Because we've seen now a lot of, and by the way, Anna Merlin over at Jezebel, the same she's the same one when the UVA rape happened in 2014. Rolling Stone did a big story on a rape at UVA, and somebody had the audacity to question, is this real? Because it didn't seem real. And she said, I think her quote was in the article that she wrote, is the UVA rape story a gigantic hoax? Asks idiot. And yes, it did in fact turn out to be a hoax. These are the same people who just blindly believe Christine Blasey Ford. They never fucking learn, ever. They never question anything because the narrative matters more to them than the facts. It does. And especially when it involves white male kids who have an aura of privilege and particularly conservatism. There is nobody targeted more in our society. People always talk about, oh, people are marginalized. People are... No. The most marginalized and detested people in American society are boys between the ages of 14 and, 24, right? Particularly white boys who are conservative. If you don't check any of those, if you don't check all those boxes, you should be safe. Even if it's just one box. For instance, David Hogg checks most of those boxes, right? Young boy, white, has an aura of privilege to him, but he's not conservative. So he's good. They're gonna let him be. Now, I'll get to the difference with David Hogg in a moment, but just want to talk about, what ended up happening with this. So more and more video comes out. A 2-hour video has emerged, and it shows a bunch of, they're like Hebrew black dudes. They're like in some sort of cult. I don't know, a bunch of weirdos. It's a 2-hour video. If you have time to watch it, it's pretty insane. There's a group of Covington kids waiting, probably like 80, 90 kids, maybe not that many, maybe 50, 60 kids, waiting for the bus at the Lincoln Memorial to go back to Kentucky. And there's this group of black Jewish guys yelling racial slurs at them and homophobic slurs at them. They have one black kid with them, and the Jewish black guys call him Kanye West. And these kids are like 14 or 15. That would enrage me as a parent. When I watch that video and I'm watching all these kids who don't have their parents there to defend them, who really should be the ones defending them because they're fucking children, and you're watching these adults pick fights with them and call them racial and homophobic slurs. What are their names, by the way? Do we know their names? No, we don't. That should be the story. Those fucking animals that treated children like that. But no, it's not the story. The media does not give a flying fuck. They don't give a flying fuck about a bunch of adults yelling racial slurs at children because the children have MAGA hats on. That's literally the only thing that matters. The only thing. And so how do the kids respond? Well, they start doing, I guess this is like, I don't know if you guys have been to like a St. John's basketball game, right? St. John's Shrewsbury has like the best student basketball section. It's an all-boys school just like this. They go to all the games. They paint faces. They do themes. And they just get fucking loud, right? Really, really loud. And it's really organized and all this shit. Covington seems to be in that realm. It's another all-boys Catholic school, big into sports, etc. So they're there on the stairs, and they start doing their basketball cheers to kind of like kill them with kindness almost, drown them out. Then out of nowhere, this guy, Nathan Phillips, with the drum shows up. Now, according to him, he wants to diffuse the situation. But does he diffuse the situation by going to the adults and asking them to stop? No. He walks over to the group of children, picks out one in particular, and starts banging a drum in his face while singing. Now, according to him, this is some sort of prayer he was doing. And everyone's like excusing that. A lot of people on the left are saying, oh, well, he was just doing his prayer for him. I don't give a flying fuck what he's doing. Bitch, I didn't ask for your prayer. Get the fuck out of my face. Fuck you and your fucking prayer. Okay? I don't want to hear your stupid fucking prayer. Get the fuck out of my face. I am so fucking sick of this shit, right? This idea that, oh, well, it's because it's cultural and it's different, we have to embrace it. No, fuck that. Get your culture out of my fucking face. That's what I think of that, right? That's fine. If you want to have your prayer and pray to your God, whatever, that's cool. Don't bring it in my fucking face. I'm not over there singing Alleluia, Jesus Christ in your face, am I? No. I do that in church when I'm not calling everyone a fucking douchebag, all right? So that pissed me off, right? And this guy is the biggest fucking loser piece of shit fucking scumbag. I fucking hate him with every ounce of my being, more than all these fucking idiot leftists that are supporting him. Fucking hate them. All right? And so, I'm so thankful TV. Yeah, it's like, oh my God, don't even get started. This is annoying me. I thought the Kavanaugh shit would piss me off more than anything because, as you guys know from reading the book, I've been falsely accused of bullshit before. Right? I've been the victim of mob, vigilante, fucking, organization, mobilization. Right? I know how it feels when you're innocent and you did nothing wrong. And they came after me for same reasons. I'm a white guy, man. You're easy fucking target if you're a white guy in this country. People say, oh, you're white tears. Oh, yeah, you guys have it so easy. Shut the fuck up. Right? We're the only because of this alleged privilege that we have, right? We're the only people that are completely fair game for everything. The rules of civility and the things you can't say to other people do not apply if you're a white guy. Facts. Facts. And so, this story, but, going after Kavanaugh, that pissed me off because he had two little girls, too. And what they were doing to him was so wrong, and it was all over politics. But at least Kavanaugh's an adult. However, they did go after, they didn't go after adult Kavanaugh, did they? They went after kid Kavanaugh. Notice the theme here? Go out. They have this idea that all, teenage white boys are overly privileged. Why do you think that Gillette commercial just came out last week? Right? About toxic masculinity. And boys will be boys. We need to end that culture. Fuck that. We need more masculinity. Too many fucking pussies in this country. Right? Too many beta males eating soy and shopping at fucking Whole Foods. The fuck out of my face. Right? With your lagers. Drink Bud Light. So, sorry about that. Right? I'm just so sick of this fucking bullshit culture that's kind of pervading. I'm going to fight this till I fucking die. I don't care if I sound like Archie Bunker. Right? I'm old school. Right? Because it works. It works. Toxic masculinity won World War II. You got that? It wasn't a bunch of soy boys flying missions over fucking France, was it? And over Nagasaki. It was men. Manly men doing men shit. Saved the free fucking world. Alright? So, that's my, so anyway, I'm just so sick of this shit. And I'm glad you guys are with me on this one. And so he continues to bang the drum in the kid's face. And other angles clearly show that the kid, right, turns around. And by the way, there's other guys in this guy's group. He was not alone. He's telling the kids, you guys are invaders. Go back to Europe, they tell him. These are fucking kids. You're an adult arguing with kids. What the fuck is wrong with you? Who the fuck argues with a bunch of kids? Who are there on a fucking school field trip? They might not even be pro-life. They might not just want to go to fucking school that day. Who the fuck knows? Let them fucking be. If you pick and fights with kids, you are seriously fucking deranged. Especially, you're a pussy because their parents aren't around to protect them. Because if I was there, and that was my kid, and that fucking cocksucker was banging a drum in my kid's face, I would have taken that drumstick and shoved it directly up his stupid fucking stolen valor ass. And that's another thing. This guy ain't no fucking Marine. I'm sick of the leftist media labeling this guy as a veteran. Veteran my fucking ass. Veteran cocksucker. That's what he is. Veteran. He ain't no fucking veteran. He's 64 years old. Right? That means he was born in 1955. I taught the Vietnam War. Right? The first boots stepped on the ground. The first American boots stepped on the ground in Nam in 1965. It hit its peak in 1968. At that point, he's 13 years old. He couldn't serve. Right? 1971, Nixon announces that we are starting the Vietnamization of the war. Meaning we're going to slowly withdraw and get the fuck out. That's what we're doing. By 1973, the last American soldier, combat soldier, was out of Nam. Right? The Marine shit was all done by 71. Nathan Phillips was 16 by 1971. He could not possibly have fought in the Vietnam War. It is mathematically impossible. And it blows my mind how this is not a bigger story. And that's another thing. This shit should be easily accessible. Just to cut down on the stolen valor bullshit. There should be an archive that the entire public can see. to validate anyone's claims of military service. Immediately. This guy never, he's a lying piece of garbage, man. And he's getting away with shit. You know why he's getting away with shit? Because he's an elderly brown guy. That's the truth of the matter. He gets fucking privileges and, treated differently because of that. Because he's a victim, right? Even though he picked a fight with a fucking kid, which makes him human garbage, right? And we'll come back to what a piece of shit he is in a moment, all right? But as you see in this video, some of the kids are jumping up and down. He originally reported that they were shouting, "Build the wall." There's 2 hours of video. Not one sound of that was completely made up. Completely. Right? Nobody said that. Nobody. Everything they said is a lie. And all of a sudden, all these kids start coming out and they start giving their stories about what's happening to them, etc. Oh, and by the way, this guy was part of the Occupy movement. He has previously claimed in 2015 that this exact same form of harassment from other students occurred. This is what he does, man. He goes around picking fights. Now, check this out. This is what he does an interview with Cincinnati.com. And so the kid comes out and denies it, right? Nicholas Sandman's his name. This kid's got balls. I love this kid, right? He comes out and he releases a statement saying none of this is true. He goes, I was trying to diffuse the situation by smiling at him, killing him with kindness, if you will. And that's exactly what he was doing. The fuck is he supposed to do? People are like, he should have moved. Fuck you, you fucking pussies. He should have moved. We're Americans. We don't fucking move. Why the fuck should he move? He was doing his job. His teachers told him to stand on the stairs and wait for the fucking bus. And that's exactly what the fuck he did. And then this adult comes by and picks a fucking fight with him? Give me a fucking break. And he's supposed to move for him? Get out of my face. Get out of my face with that shit. What is this fucking survey? So anyway, I just cannot believe that people are... This is the difference in our generation and previous ones. The previous generation wouldn't move, right? This generation's like, oh, you have to move. He wants to be there. He's doing his prayer dance, and he's an elder, so we have to respect him. No, you don't. Respect is earned, bitch. Respect is earned. Fuck out of my face. Earned. So anyway, the kid admits, yeah, that was me. I did nothing wrong, and good for him for not backing down. And shame, for shame, on the Catholic Church. I'm a Catholic. I am embarrassed to be a Catholic right now. Absolutely fucking embarrassed. And this is why I never put a dime in that basket. Because the Catholic Church is the most corrupt organization that ever goes. I go to church because I am a Catholic, right? And I praise God in my own fucking way, right? My relationship with God is my relationship with God. And I'm going to raise my kids to be Catholic, and they're going to have First Communion and all that good stuff too, right? But I don't buy into the whole church hierarchy bullshit, right? Especially what they've done to young boys in this country. It's fucking disgusting, right? The cover-ups, the sexual abuse. It never ends. They just move these fucking rapist fucking pedophiles around instead of putting a bullet in their head. And what happens when this goes down? What does the Catholic Church do in Covington? They say that was not Christ-like. That was bad. That was bad, right? We can't be having that, right? They fucking sold their kids out to the mob, right? They sold them out to the mob, and fuck them for doing that. This is the same organization, by the way, that said nothing, said absolutely nothing about, rampant sex abuse for years, let it happen, right? But the second the woke mob gets mad about something, ooh, better fucking show them one of the good ones. And by the way, fuck all these fake conservatives too. We found out who the real fucking conservatives were in this last round of events, didn't we? All these people like Meghan McCain, who I usually like, and Ben Shapiro, who I usually like, and all these old fogies of the National Review who constantly want to prove that they are one of the good, quote-unquote, good conservatives, right? They don't support Trump. They don't like this culture that's going on with MAGA and all this. They immediately condemn the kids. Shame on them. Shame on them. Stop trying to impress liberals. You cannot ever impress liberals. They will never, ever be satisfied. That's what liberals do. They eat each other because they always try to prove that the one is more woke than the other one. Fuck them. Let them burn each other down. Stay united. That's the best thing conservatives can do. So anyway, can you tell I'm fired up today? Can you tell people? Yeah. It was conservative. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm like, people are saying the same thing. I don't know if there's any other Catholics out there. How you guys feel about this? I used to be Catholic, but I'm too lazy to get up early ever again. I mean, it is kind of early, yeah. I mean, I like, whatever. I don't want to get too into what I do, right? But I'm just so embarrassed by the institution of the Catholic Church. Embarrassed by it, right? And I'm embarrassed by conservatives, right? Yeah, older conservatives. I like the younger ones, man. A lot of these younger people, like Cassandra Fairbanks is one of my favorite ones. She used to follow us on Twitter, right? She has been a fucking god on Twitter, what she's doing for these boys, getting them legal help. And I hope they sue every one of these fucking media outlets and destroy them because there has to be some sort of accountability on this part. We're going to get to that in a minute, but I want to read what Nathan Phillips has been doing there. He was offered a chance to sit down with the Covington kids and, at a restaurant. A guy was going to sponsor it and have a sit-down meeting with them. Now, if I was the kids, I would have told them to fuck off. I ain't meeting shit. This motherfucker tried to ruin my life. Right? And he refuses, though. He refuses. This is what he says. Right? This quote is enraging. He goes, it's not the right time. I might consider it at some point, but there'd have to be assurances in place, give and take, and understanding. The fuck? He doesn't want to get along with these kids. And by the way, the reason he's doing it is because he doesn't like the fact that Nick Sandman, the kid whose life he tried to ruin, stood up for himself. I have read the statement from Nick Sandman, the student who stared at me for a long time. He did not apologize, and I believe there are intentional falsehoods in his testimony. He's talking about a fucking child, someone else's child. I hope this kid's father finds this fucking piece of shit, stolen valor motherfucker and knocks him the fuck out. You don't talk about if he ever talked about my son that way, it would be the last time he ever fucking talked. I'll tell you that much. Right? I believe there are intentional falsehoods in his testimony. Don't you ever talk about my son, you fucking freeloading cocksucker. God, I hate this guy. I hate him. Right? But I have faith that human beings can use a moment like this to find a way to gain understanding from one another. Translation. I am going to lecture you about why you were wrong and I was right. Right? And the owner of the restaurant is kind of upset about it. Right? But this guy's just like, he needs to put, and this is what he says about the kid. He, the student, needs to put out a different statement. I'm disappointed with this statement. He didn't accept any responsibility. That lack of responsibility, I don't accept. Responsibility for what, motherfucker? You're the adult. You came over and banged the drum in his face. At first, I wanted the teachers and chaperones to be reprimanded. Some fired for letting this happen. For letting what happen? For letting you harass kids? You want teachers fired? You want people to lose their jobs? Something you know nothing about because you don't have a fucking job? Oh, fuck him. Fuck him. What is this? A stupid ad? Yeah. For the students, I was against any expulsions, but now I have to revisit that. He thinks he gets to demand what a Catholic school does to reprimand students who did nothing wrong. This is our youth. These students may be from a different culture, a different race, but I'm American and they're American. This is our youth, American youth. Is this the future we got? Yup. Hopefully the future is kids like him who don't back down to fucking cocksuckers like you. Proud of those kids, right? Philip said he's ready to work toward a better America. He said he was in prayer when he approached the Covington students. His goal was to diffuse a volatile situation between the students and 4 members. So by diffuse a situation, he means walk up to a random kid, say nothing, and bang a drum in his face. and also do nothing to the adults yelling racial slurs at children. And this is my favorite part. He, the kid, stole my narrative. From the time I hit that first beat of the drum until the time I hit the last beat, I was in prayer. Now all of a sudden, he's the prayer guy, because that's what the kid said. He goes, I was praying during that time. That's why I didn't say anything. He goes, he stole my narrative. He literally says narrative. That's his word. My fucking narrative. He stole it. So only I can be in prayer because I'm the one banging the drum. Oh, what a cocksucker. God, anybody who doesn't see through this guy's bullshit is lying to themselves. You cannot take anyone seriously, people, who is still supporting this false narrative. These are evil. I was talking to Grandma Turtle Boy about this today. I go, this is good and evil. This is fucking evil. Evil does not get to win. I believe that by remaining emotionless and calm. Yeah, he goes, I take great offense to that term protester. Bitch, you're a professional protester. A professional. Right? And he goes, what he came to town for was protesting about the kid. Anyone who knows about Roe versus Wade knows it isn't a pretty picture. He had just come from that protest. To me, he came worked up in a frenzy already. The March for Life is not like a regular protest, right? It's a bunch of Catholic people, mostly women, mind you, who come down every year in the freezing cold to show support because they believe that babies in the womb are human beings with souls who should not be killed. I'm not saying my opinion. I'm saying that's what their opinion is. Okay? And there ain't nothing wrong with that opinion. Right? If you're pro-choice, that's okay too. You're allowed to have opinions. This idea that it's bigoted to be pro-life is fucking garbage. It's not bigoted to be pro-life. Right? So, I just could not believe that. And he goes, the students had an opportunity to not hate and put out an olive branch and say, let's sit down and pray together. And instead they responded to hate with hate. And Sandman transferred that hate to me. So he wanted them, when he comes over and bangs a drum in their face, to sit down and pray together. Fuck off. Fuck your stupid culture. Get the fuck out of my face. Just because a bunch of liberal people fucking fall for your bullshit and fucking, quote unquote, pray with you to make themselves feel better about being so accepting of your fucking culture doesn't mean everyone has to, motherfucker. Shut the fuck up. God, I can't even deal with this guy anymore. Well, let's talk about the media's handling of this, because this is even worse. We learned last year around this time that if you had an opinion that was contrary to David Hogg's, right, like when Laura Ingram tweeted out that she wasn't surprised Hogg didn't get into UCLA, he organized a massive boycott of all Fox News advertisers because you can't disagree with David Hogg, can you? Even though David Hogg has used this platform to, attack Nancy Pelosi and other people. He has a real hatred, it seems, for anyone over the age of 50. And whatever. But he's good because he's, liberal, so he's on the right side. So anyway, then there's this douchebag comes on TV. And we talked about, how his story didn't make any sense about, how old he was and whatever. But the media just runs with the narrative, man. And I see a lot of these tweets up. CNN, the Native American who apparently was being mocked by teens. He was not being mocked by teens. Wearing MAGA hats in a viral video. Says he has fear for those youth, for their future, fear for their souls, their spirit, what they're going to do to this country. If you can't tell this guy has an agenda by now, you're just fucking blind, right? You're blind. It was racism. It was hatred. How do you know that? Every single media outlet covered it like that. Every single one, right? Spreading lies from the Washington Post. Death of irony. MAGA supporters surround a Native American man and chant, build that wall. Just a bold-faced lie. Just a lie. Hasn't come up yet. I hope they get sued because I don't believe in suing people with silence free speech unless it's a lie. If we write a lie about you and it harms you in any way, I hope you sue us and I hope we go bankrupt. But that'll never happen because we take extra care here to never, ever defame someone improperly. It's very important, right? With great power comes great responsibility. You think NBC or CNN gives a flying fuck about that? No. They care about clicks and the narrative. So when people want to say Turtle Boy's the bad guy, right? And these people cloak themselves in morality because they're allegedly fighting hate. They're not. They're evil, man. They're fucking pure evil. We're on the side of good, right? These kids are on the side of good. They've done nothing wrong. And by the way, before they went after Nick Sandman, they went after some kid named Michael Hodge and destroyed his family on the day of his brother's wedding, right? And his brother Andrew tweeted all about it and all the shit you've gone through. It's insane to read some of the shit that they've been through. And, you know, oh, look at the Archbishop who initially condemned the shameful actions of Covington Catholic students has taken his tweet down. But the damage is done. The damage is done. Kirk Eichenwald writes, as long as we're talking about religious schools behaving terribly, why don't we look at every student from Covington Catholic who surrounded them? So here they are. And he put pictures of all of 50 children. 50 fucking children on his platform. And he has almost 1 million followers. Okay? I don't advocate violence. Kirk Eichenwald should be fucking knocked the fuck out. Okay? You do not attack people's children like that. If you do, good luck to you. Okay? You do that to my son, I'm going to find you. I'm going to knock you the fuck out. That's what I'm going to do. You don't fucking attack kids. I'm not a violent person. If you fuck with my kids, I'm going to hurt you. I'm going to hurt you really fucking good. Don't fuck with my kids. That's all I'm saying. And I'm sure a lot of you people feel that same way about your kids. Don't fuck with my kids. Do whatever you want to me, shit on me, whatever you want. Do not fuck with my kids. Okay? And you deserve it. If he got knocked the fuck out, he would fucking deserve it. God, I'm getting a little ghetto tonight, aren't I, huh? Sorry. But anyway, that's just creepy. Unc, what did I do? What's creepy? He's nothing but a worthless bum. I loved when those two racist crackheads were calling him an elder. Yeah, they were all calling him elders. 50 kids they took pictures of, right? And so let's read some more ones. This is a woman from the New York Times, an editor. Marlon James' Facebook post is the single best commentary I've ever read. And so this random guy who just accuses these kids of sealing his white privilege, a smirk, saying that nothing you speak matters, your existence doesn't matter, your protest doesn't matter, your dignity doesn't matter. I mean, you can't even smile in this country, right? And she's like quoting him and saying, this is the best thing I've ever seen. And somebody asked him, have you seen the video that came out? And she's like, if you watch the unedited video and you do not have a problem with the boy's behavior, then your question isn't for me. She actually saw the whole video and she still blames the kids. These people are fucking insane, man. This woman is evil. She cloaks herself in like this cloak of wokeness, right? Oh, I'm moral. I'm fighting against racism and hate speech. Bitch, you're fucking evil. You're not a good person. You're attacking children. You are evil. And of course, the biggest psychopath of them all. By the way, we're banned from Twitter because I retweeted Kathy Griffin when she called Jeff Flake a cunt after he had the audacity to vote for Brett Kavanaugh, who did nothing wrong. And I retweeted her, and I got permanently banned from Twitter. And she's allowed to stay on, even though she's the one that actually made the tweet. So that makes sense. So she writes, P.S. The reply from the school was pathetic and impotent. Name these kids. I want names. Shame them. If you think these fuckers wouldn't dox you in a heartbeat, think again. If these fuckers, this is a child. These are 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds. She wants names. She has 2.2 million followers, and she wants to use her platform to mobilize a mob against children. That is sick and twisted behavior, and that is why I will never, ever vote for a Democrat again, unless, I don't know, they would have to completely change who they are. This is liberalism, man. These people are not castigated off to the side. These people have taken over the party, right? All you're going to hear about in the Democratic primaries is racism. It's all you're going to hear about. That's all these motherfuckers know how to do, right? Is vilify white guys. That's the only thing they can do. Luckily, I think the American people are smart enough not to fall for it. If that's their plan, they're going to fucking lose. And I can't wait to watch them lose. But in the meantime, I will never, ever vote for it. And I'm not a political person. But if these are the lines that are drawn, on one side is the side that attacks children, that thinks it's okay to fucking do this to children, and the other side believes in free speech and smiling. Yeah, I'm going to be I'm on Team Smile. I don't know about you guys. If that makes me a Republican, then so be it. Kirsten Powers, the ultimate virtue signaler from CNN. I call BS on the idea that these kids just burst into cheers randomly. Why? Why? If they were at the pro-life march and someone was speaking, would they break into cheers to counter it? No, because it's disrespectful. What? Nathan Phillips says they chanted "Build the Wall." It's not clear from the video what they're chanting, so it can't be proven they weren't. What? They have to prove they weren't chanting something? The video proves they weren't chanting something, but that's not enough for them. Amazing how many people automatically take the word of high school boys over a Vietnam vet and elder. Oh, elder, of course. Oh, you know what's really amazing? The amount of people that took this guy's word that he's a Vietnam vet without any proof. That's what's amazing, because he's not. He's not a Vietnam vet. He's lying, right? The boy who was sneering and standing close and staring Phillips down was clearly being disrespectful. Why? You can't even look at someone in this country? You can't even look at something? That would make his behavior disrespectful? Interesting note that when a white veteran, Vietnam veteran, was ridiculed on SNL, she's talking about Dan Crenshaw, who has one eye. Dan Crenshaw is 34 years old. He was not alive during the Vietnam War, you dumb fucking retard. Oh, sorry, I shouldn't say that word. I don't like that word. Okay, but I apologize. I let that slip. I don't care, though. These people bring out the worst in me, right? Okay? Fucking brain dead moron. How about that instead? You think this guy was alive for the Vietnam War? I can't deal with these people. I can't deal with it. Right? In order to buy the narrative, the right is pushing you have to give the teenage boys the benefit of the doubt at every turn. Or you could just watch the video. How about that? Riza Aslan from CNN says, honest question. Have you ever seen a more punchable face than this kid's? Yeah, motherfucker. You. I hope someone knocks him the fuck out. By the way, still up. Twitter says you cannot advocate violence against anyone unless they're conservative children. And then not only does your tweet stay up, you keep your blue verified check mark. All right. I guess all the kids in MAGA house shouting "Build the Wall" was just my imagination. Yeah, it was. It was your imagination, stupid. Right? And by the way, there are many reasons for me to hate the Chiefs, but top among them is forcing me to root for the Patriots today. Oh, actually, she was rooting for the Chiefs, so never mind that one. Oh, and of course, Elizabeth Warren, who is the most offensive person to Native Americans in this country by pretending to be one. Of course, does no research and uses her platform to say Omaha elder and Vietnam War veteran Nathan Phillips endured hateful taunts. No, he didn't. There's no hateful taunts. With dignity and strength. Why? Like, these people get to lie. They just lie, and they base their campaigns off of lies. And their idiot followers just blindly go along with it. It's insane. It's insane. And this is a congressman from Kentucky. He's probably the only Democrat from Kentucky. And this is facetious, but I'm calling for a total and complete shutdown of teenagers wearing MAGA hats. They seem to be poisoning young minds. That's a joke. But this is not a joke. The conduct we saw in this video is beyond appalling, and it didn't happen in a vacuum. This is a direct result of the racist hatred displayed daily by the president. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. These people just hate Trump. That's all this is. Look at this freaking whore puts, and I will say that. This woman's a fucking whore. One of the conversations over the past 24 hours about how deeply familiar this looks. It's the look of white patriarchy, of course, but that familiarity, that banality, is part of what prompts this visceral reaction. It's life in America, and she puts the kid and Kavanaugh, because they're both rapists, obviously. And then she goes on to say, I've never known what it's like to be around that face and its power as a Native person. But I know how many times I've seen that face in my classroom. So she's a teacher. There was always one kid in every class who whispered. The guy who snickered when his classmates answered questions. The guy who tried to turn serious class discussions into jokes. The guy with the gumption to ask for extensions, to miss class and saying, "What'd I miss?" To plagiarize, to get a C and come to office hours and try to flirt his way to a better grade. Right? I encountered this guy at big state schools and small schools. His accent and major might change, but the fundamentals of his identity did not. He was white and he was male, and at least as he performed it, he was straight. So he didn't suck any dick in front of her, so he's a straight white male. I mean, this is insanely racist. She's just like saying, I know that face. Everybody who's in my class who's white is evil. She goes, the sight of that face caused a visceral reaction to many because he's white. You could never, ever say this about anybody who wasn't white. Fuck this idea of white privilege. It means nothing. From elementary school, this is a woman from Gizmodo, another blue check mark. From elementary school through college, I went to school with sheltered upper middle class white boys who could devastate with a smirk. Devastate. A facial gesture that weaponized their privilege. Infuriatingly, you can't fight that fucking smirk with a punch or words. What? So it's like, you might have anger issues, miss. If you see someone smiling and you're like, I want to punch them, you might have anger issues, right? I fucking hate that smirk. It says, I'm richer, I'm white, and I'm a guy. My existence trumps your experience. I love how they've all interpreted this from a fucking smile, right? Few things make me that angry as that smirk. If you're that angered from a smirk, you need psychological help. You are unhinged. Unhinged. And it just goes on and on. I mean, I could talk about this all day and how disgusting it is. But I hope they sue, right? I hope they, go after every single person who threatened them, right? And this guy Barnes Law, I hope he's serious about that. I hope he goes after the New York Times and all these fucking fake news bullshit. I want them to pay. I want people to lose their jobs. I want these rich white people to send their kids to public school with the black kids that they profess to love but don't want around their children. That's what I want. I want destitutes, right? I want poverty. I want people to cry. I want people to lose their homes. I want kids to ask their moms, why do we have to move into a smaller house? Because your dad couldn't shut the fuck up on Twitter. That's why. Because he's a little dick beta male. So yeah. The kid had an assault smirk. Anyway, why don't we open the floor to questioning? Whatever. We'll have more time to talk about the Super Bowl in a future podcast. It goes without saying that I believe the Patriots will win the Super Bowl. I'm really hoping that finally we get a blowout, or maybe a 10-point win, something like that. But as we all know, they won't do that. They don't let that happen. Every fucking Super Bowl has to be a nail biter. It's so exciting. It's so much fun. I love it. We will be live streaming it from somehow on that day. Because why not? But yeah. Anyway. Anybody have any questions? Anyone have any questions? Let me know. Because I'm so mad, guys. I'm so fucking mad about this. I don't know how you guys feel about this. But every day, every hour, I get more angry about this. Will you be doing the history podcast? Yes. I just don't know when. So I've decided I'm going to write my next book on history, right? It's going to be History with Uncle Turtle Boy, right? Obviously I'm not going to do all of American history, but I'm probably going to do 10 or 15 eras or people from American history and kind of talk about how, what it would be like. What would those people do in today's society? I would want to know. How would they handle today's woke culture? And that's going to be the premise of the book. And I want to do a podcast series that aligns with it, and I want to get it sponsored. So I'm going to have to get I need a sponsor first, but yeah. So that would be the history podcast, but I want it done right. I want it done right. I don't want it to be bootleg. I want it to be good. All right. What else are people asking? It's more fun for the Pats to wipe their asses with the other team while we sit back and eat not. I mean, I'd much rather prefer that. Much rather prefer that. Yeah, absolutely. You all shoveled out? Yeah, I mean, I got a long driveway. I just have a guy. He's a turtle rider. He comes and plows my freaking driveway. Well worth it. $40. Can't beat it. And I just shovel the stairs. That's it. How do you know of any? Do you know of any other time where similar things happened to today's society. Yeah, actually, I mean, that's what I would be talking about in the book, but like this idea of censorship of dangerous ideas was very popular during all American wars, right? Particularly World War I and World War II, right? During World War I, you couldn't pass out pamphlets that were, encourage people not to join the army because it was dangerous. This idea that speech can be dangerous, I completely reject. So we have seen stuff like this before, but the people who used to suppress free speech used to be conservatives. Now it's liberals. The tables have turned. The liberals have been the ones that are supposed to advocate for free speech, which is what made them fun. Not anymore. Not anymore. Any other questions? Yeah. Chill out with all the political stuff. What does people say? Chill out with the political stuff for your own health. These people are insane. I know. Thank you. But I like to get mad sometimes. I'm not going to lie. I kind of enjoy getting mad. Are all the Turtle Boy pages in jail currently? Yeah, you can follow Bristol TC. She is not in jail, but all the other ones are in jail for like 15 more days. So, yeah, it is what it is. What are your thoughts on the video of someone shining a laser in Tom Brady's face? Typical hooligan nonsense from Kansas City fans. I expect nothing less, but we won anyway, so. Do you have enough backup pages? I mean, I could use more backup pages, but the problem is whenever any of us sign into them, they just get shut down because they flag our friggin' IP address. It sucks. What did Turtle Boy do for a 30-day bid? I can't even keep track. AMA historically shuts down new ideas. It's curious, yeah. What do you think of Michael Wilbon's comments of the Pats not earning their right to... Michael Wilbon's a Patriot hater. He hates Boston in particular because he's a race-baiting douchebag that believes Boston is a racist city, even though there was a guy thrown out of a Chicago Blackhawks game last February for yelling racial slurs at a player. Maybe it was May. And Wilbon said nothing about the city of Chicago being racist. Nothing. So then Michael Wilbon's trash. He's a moron. And he's a race-baiting hustler, which is why he's on ESPN. Right? Turtle Boy seems to be a unique, expanding blog. Do you know any other similar local or regional blogs like Turtle Boy that inspired you? I guess, in a way, Barstool Sports somewhat inspired me because... they're successful, and the idea, I'm like, I always looked at Barstool, I'm like, well, I can do that. How hard is fucking that to do, Well, it is kind of hard, actually, to, like, be entertaining and amusing, because Prez is very funny, but the rest of his guys aren't, and I think that's what separates us from them, right, is that, like, I have much better writers than them. I do. I can honestly say that. And people just don't know about us yet. I mean, when word spreads, people will eventually come around and they'll say, this is a much better product than Barstool. We get Barstool converts every day. Keep them coming. Yeah. So, yeah, I definitely think, and I did look to Deadspin, and I kind of talked about this in the book a little bit, but, like, I like Deadspin. I like what their mission is to, like, expose shit, like, they've blown up some big stories, the Manti Te'o story, stuff like that. But they just went social justice warrior and they ruined it. So they suck. Let's see. Any other question? Is Brooklyn gone? Oh, I forgot about Brooklyn. I'm going to hold on to that and try to build it up. We'll see what happens. I'm going to try it out a few more times. All right. Is TB Ryder down too? Yes, he is. South Shore is a great writer. She's professionally trained. She should be a good writer. How many writers don't have a unique name and just publish under Uncle Turtle Boy? I'm the only one who publishes under the name Uncle Turtle Boy. The only one. Yeah. So anyway, the Officer Smith blog was great today. That was Bristol. She does a great job. I love her. I love that girl. So anyway, yeah, why don't we call it a night there, folks? I'm happy to you guys. Thanks for listening to me. Sorry about all the foul language. I'm a good Catholic boy. I don't like to swear like that and get fired up, but God, when people go after kids like that, Can't have it. Can't have it. So, all right, peeps. We will see you all on Thursday. Yeah, there will be a Thursday show at 9:30. We will see you all then. Peace, Turtle Riders.